Hello, everybody. You're welcome to Clear Minds and Self Healing. My name is Aso, and I'm really excited to have you here today. I want to appreciate everyone who has watched the previous videos, who has taken time to comment. The discussions and feedback have really taught me a lot, and I really appreciate all of what you've been doing. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you can join us and have these conversations together. The title of today's video is Invisible Corpses, and I want us to make them visible by this conversation today because they're really impactful to our lives. And the corpses I'm talking about is anger, blame, vengeance, and hate. These are things that just go on in our life as we go about our lives, and the way things impact on us, our mistakes, and the way we feel the guilt, things that people put on us, insult, discrimination, they steal from us, bankruptcy, all sorts of negative things that have happened to us over the years from upbringing. Even if it's your health conditions, the things that you're born with, the defects, those that have diminished your value, both in your eyes and in the eyes of others. I want us to package these things today and put them in a big grave and bury them and see how we can live without them. And I'll start this video with a question. If someone knocked on your door, and metaphorical door, whether you're at work, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're walking past, whether it's a cultural, racial, religious, friendship, family, whatever the issue is, someone knocks on that door and says, hello, I've got 3 corpses in my car. I'm struggling to find a place for these corpses. My life is too clean. I'm too angry. I'm struggling with A, B, and Z, and I need a dumping ground for these corpses. I need someone to help me with these corpses. Help me take over these corpses from me. Can you please take 1, 2, or all 3 of my corpses? Will you take over those corpses? Will you take 1 or 2 or 3 of those physical corpses that they turned up to your door with? Of course not. You wouldn't. Because as human beings, we know what to do with physical corpses. We know. The people we love, when they die, they break our heart, and we dig a hole in the ground and we put them in it, and we put pieces of ourselves into those holes with them, because of the gap that they leave behind, because of the memories, because of our inability to move on without them. And as much as we love those people, as valuable as they are to us, we know how to put them in the ground. We wear the color that we grieve with culturally, we follow the rituals, we roll in the dirt, and we try and gain some distance from those tragedies as much as we can. We live with it for the rest of our lives. We embrace the memories as much as we can, whilst giving us a coping gap emotionally. Sadly, we do not recognize the psychological, the verbal, the domestic abuse, the jealousy, the racism, the insult, and all the other physical and around us corpses that people put on us, that they turn up to our doors with. And we open those doors and we take those corpses without even realizing that we are aligning them all over our lives. We carry buckets full of corpses to our dinner tables, over to our children's lives, into bed, into our new relationships, whether they be employment, family, or whatever else. We inherit those corpses as if we didn't have enough in our lives before they turned up knocking. As if we didn't have enough before they brought their nonsense, the prejudice, the insult, the discrimination into our lives. And I want you to get a piece of paper and put those big blinking corpses per name, because when you elevate them to a visible level, which is what I want us to have in these conversations, when you make those corpses visible and big and seen, you will find their own graves. Dig the graves. The bigger the issue, the deeper the grave. Because some of those issues, if you put into shallow graves, they will creep up sooner than you realize and keep nibbling into your lives and weighing you down and stealing your joy and taking your attention away from all the beautiful, mighty things that you can be doing with that energy that you're wasting carrying those emotional and psychological corpses around. So let's take hate, for example. Someone has done something horrible to you. The hate and the blame. The drunk driver who killed someone you love. The partner who did something to you. The family member who betrayed you or failed to do something. The insult, whatever it is, you name it. You carrying it around for years is just adding those layers on you that you can get rid of. The darkness is just looming around you when you're seeking clarity, seeking brightness, seeking health. And I want to challenge you to let go of those things. As difficult as it is for you to look at me and say, do you understand what you're telling me to do? They were drunk and they got in a car and they killed my so and so. How do you expect me to let go of that? How much more pain and hate are you putting on your life with that hate? If I carry this for 5 minutes, my hand will start to weigh down, but I can be comfortable for 5 minutes. 5 hours, oh, my arm is really starting to be tense. 5 years, we hold on to these emotional scars for way too long, even when we found a way to bury our loved ones who we should be able to hug the most. When you put blame on someone, however tragic the thing that they did to you, you are distancing yourself from the solution to that thing. Because when you own it and say that you're in control of this situation, you're sending a message to your brain to get to work seeking solutions to help you overcome that problem. And when you stop and tell yourself that it's on me, however irrational that is, you're giving yourself the power, the control to make things different. And you carry on down that lane, it starts to lead to explosive anger, to self-hate, to self-minimization, the lack of appreciation because your life is not working out the way it should because of all those corpses that we have inherited. And sometimes they don't knock on those doors and they don't ask you if you want them. They send the corpses crashing into your living rooms. And we have to get better at sending them back out the window to the destinations, to their hateful, spiteful owners. Because when we take those and start telling them and repeating them and dwelling on them and wondering why they had the audacity to dump on us, we are liberating them of their nonsense. And while they go about living a happy, healthy life, we are stuck bearing inherited garbage. Send it away. Dig those graves. Find some pieces of papers and write those things in order of priority of how they impact on you, and find those graves that you can put them in deep enough to enable you find healing. We need to really put ourselves into the driving seats of our lives and put the value on our lives that will give us the strength to seek the solution to those inherited problems. Do not let anyone dump on you. Recognize the physical corpses that we love and bury and get better at getting over those ones as well. Because sometimes we get stuck in our own stuff. We get stuck in our own corpses because we love them so much we cannot let go. Even though they've betrayed us, even though they've walked away from us, we still stay here and hug our corpses. Love the memories that you had with them and let go of them. Bury them and return occasionally to put flowers on those graves to represent those memories, those things that have scarred you, have made you who you are, but walk away from them and have a healthy distance to enable you to bloom in your current life. And when you find that strength by looking yourself today and saying, I know it's hard, I know it's hard to forgive those things, to walk away from those people, to do these things that I'm asking you. So today the challenge is this. Put that thing on a paper and name it as a corpse. That's a starting point. It may take you 10 more weeks or 10 more months or 10 more something to start action or to actually really get to a point where you're over it. As long as you start, as long as you recognize it as an inherited corpse, even if it's your own mistakes, your own shortcomings, your own birth conditions, your own health, your own disability, what else can you do? You already have it. It's already on you. So how can you live a fulfilling life away from that thing, as far away as possible? You have to own it and distance yourself from it at the same time. And as hard as it is, until you really start taking that action to first of all say to yourself that this thing is becoming too heavy. This thing is not healthy. It's not working out. I'm going to put it down. If the action of putting down is difficult, that's fine in the beginning, but don't stop. Don't stop digging. Dig that grave. Put it in. And every time you recognize it crawling out of that grave, dig a deeper one. It's consistent action. It's going to take a while for you to really build on that resilience, to have that self-acceptance, that appreciation, that worth in yourself that will give you the ability to wholeheartedly put an end to those things. Anger, vengeance, hate, blame, they are not healthy. They steal your joy. They take away people's problems and send them off to freedom whilst you stay here with inherited insults, inherited whatever it is that you're dealing with. What is your mourning ritual? What color do you wear for your funeral? Find it, buy it, wear it, plan your celebration, but by all means, start digging those graves and putting those emotional and psychological baggages in, and put a beautiful value of health and emotional release on your life. However hard it is, do whatever it takes. Seek whatever support you need. Scream if you need to scream. Pray if you need to pray. Buy those tools and start digging and start burying and start seeking the beautiful healing that you deserve. That is my message for today. Figure out how to deal with emotional and psychological stressors just as much as we figure out how to deal with the loss of loved ones. We bury them, we cry. Bury your burdens, bury your hate, bury your blame, bury your burdens, and tell this beautiful soul that you're looking into that it's valuable, it's capable, that you accept it, you acknowledge it, and you will love it no matter what. And tell those people who tell you that you're not valuable that they don't know you as much as you know yourself. And the only way you can do that is to accept that you know your value and own it and flaunt it. So please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Share this content. Encourage your loved ones to recognize their psychological and emotional stressors. Learn to put those negative vibes in a distance and surround yourself with love and positivity, and be the biggest person in your healing. Have a lovely day. Thank you.